Selini. Is it going to be a win or a bin? Let's find out and read the words on Steam, of which there aren't actually too many of them. A cryptic and alluring journey of foggy wastelands, abandoned machinery, and forgotten ruins. And that's literally all I've got of the game. There's no more words than that. This is a demo. The demo comes out in November of 2022, and there is no official release date for the full game yet. However, as part of the key eyes provided by the developer, when the full game is released, I will receive a copy of the game, and I will go on to review that too. It's basically it is a platformer. It's set in what I could probably describe as a sci-fi world, but I'll come into my thoughts on the environment in a moment. And this game is completely unique, and in fact, there is so much missing, but it makes sense. If there's any other game, all of the flaws would be bad, but they've twisted it. The flaws have actually become good things in my mind. So when you start the game, you do not get given a title screen, you go straight into the game, and all you're shown is WASD as your movement controls, and that is it. Your figure is like a hooded spectre kind of thing, but the whole character thing is very much open to interpretation. The creature next to you is like a robot thing, a bit bigger than you, looking like it's repairing or punishing or doing something to a similar non-playable version of yourself. And you discover these as you go through the game, through the platform elements of it. You find a few more of these. You can't interact with them or anything, they're just there, but you don't know what they are, you don't know what they're doing. Again, this whole thing is open to interpretation, like all of it, I think. You can't change the key bindings, fine. There's no health bar, although you can die. There is no storyline, and there's no assistance for what's going on. No explanation at all. You don't know where you are, you don't know why you're doing it, you don't know what your end goal is, you don't know how you're going to get to any end goal, if there is even an end goal. Nothing. And as I said to you a moment ago, that would make for an incredibly shit game. But as you get stuck into this a little bit, the world is beautiful, I think. The background music, or more of a soundtrack, I don't know, it's not really music per se, but it's atmospheric. And the whole environment is sci-fi, it's technological, but it's got these really weird elements, I think, in my mind, of World War One. But if World War One was in like a futuristic sci-fi world with robots and machinery, and the reason why I think that, some of the bad guys in this, well, not bad guys, they're actually robotic things, automated machines. There's one that reminds me of a World War One cannon, or even earlier, even Victorian, something really bizarre in that sense. And a tank, which is one of those old mine clearers, with the spikes on the front. So the lever would come down on the front of the tank and check for mines as it goes forward, obviously protecting the people inside the vehicle. It's one of those, and that's one of the machines that's trying to kill you. But there's things in here that just seem really old, but set in lighting-wise, a sci-fi, futuristic, technologically advanced setting. It's such a gloomy world, though. You do feel like you're in sort of dystopian landscape where there's very little life, and if there is any life, it's being controlled by something. You get that very dark undertone to it, that something is afoot. Don't know what, but this is the whole thing about it, and as I said before, it leaves a lot to interpretation and your imagination. As you go through the game, as I said, there is no health per se, but you can die. You have to learn yourself indications of how well your character is doing. Now, there's these little dots that come off your character, little pixels and colours that your character will show. And from what you learn, you get an inkling as to whether or not you might be low on health or you've got plenty of health. And you can get health by using your little attack button, which I don't know what it is. It's almost like a pulse attack, electric pulse. And you can destroy some objects. You can kill these non-playable characters I was referring to earlier that look like you. You can destroy those and get these little glowing orbs off them. And I think they give you life and health. But I don't know. I think they do. But you have to kind of work everything out for yourself. And the developer does say all this in the Steam description, in that it does not tell you anything. It's up to you to decide what this game is telling you and how you're deciding what it means. It's completely up to you. And it does work. It does work. It's a bit of a puzzler, there's a bit of combat, and there's a bit of find your way around. But you do make up your own mind about it. I've said, for me, it's a World War One setting, and I think there's some overlord controller or something that's taking these robots that you're seeing over in terms of their mind, and you're trying to battle your way through to try and work out who is doing this or what is doing this. And ultimately, past the demo, because I have completed the demo, perhaps you do have to confront this. But it is a completely open game in that essence. You make your own mind up, and it might not make much sense me saying that, a game where you have to decide for yourself what it's trying to do. But when this comes out as a demo, it'll be free, of course. Just grab it and have a go and just see what you think, because I would assume that other people will have different ideas about it than me, and it probably won't make too much sense for you at the beginning. But just keep playing it, keep wandering around, keep interacting with things the best you can, not knowing really what benefit they're doing you, but you'll get a little idea as to how you want to take everything on board and what it's trying to tell you. And if you bear in mind it is only a demo, there's going to be more to come. I don't think they're going to go down the route of adding instructions or speech, because there is no speech at all. There's no character voice acting or anything like that. That's not going to come. But of course there might be extra things in the game, more levels, different things that try and kill you. But I don't think there's going to be any change in terms of the user interface or anything. It's minimalistic for a reason. But if you want something a little bit interesting to play in the next month, keep an eye out for this on the demo front on Steam. Could be an interesting one.